G'day Snarder, starting off with a ruler for a bit of scale there, Sprig on the bottom and the bird and trout from C3 at the top. So let's have a look at a bit more comparison. The Sprig has CPM S90V, which is a high chromium stainless steel. The thickness of the blade is just a fraction thicker than the bird and trout from C3. Balance on the knife is actually just there, which means that here it's balancing just between the index and the middle finger, but when you actually make use of the choil at the top here, then the balance is sitting more towards the end of the middle finger. Handle materials G10, good low maintenance handle material, although it does tend to add weight to the handle because G10 by itself is a fairly heavy material. The spine on this one is not as sharp, it's not quite as a 90-degree angle as on the C3. I think that's probably because when the South Fork first came out, people used to complain that the edge was a bit too sharp, so they've rounded it off a smidge. Now, it certainly makes choking up on the blade there reasonably comfortable, but when it comes to the small scales on things like trout, using the back of the knife to scale with is not as effective as what it was for the larger scales on the saltwater brim that I showed in one of the videos. Very nice knife. It's a bit longer in the blade than the bird and trout from C3, and that's part of the reason why I also bought this one, was because it's stainless, and I do a fair bit of fishing in salt water, and the handle itself is low maintenance. It comes with a Boltron sheath, nice snug fit, and I took the G-clip off just to make it a nice streamlined package. I've applied a small convex secondary bevel at the edge because, to be honest, I prefer a convex grind. Now this one is actually a collaboration with a guy, custom knife maker in the US called Phil Wilson, and that's his signature on the back. The fit and finish is superb. It's a very nice knife, and I'm very pleased I bought it. This one from Chris at C3, this one's his 3V version with Coca-Cola handle scales. I actually asked him for a slightly longer handle, and the balance point for this one is, again, it's sort of back towards here, which again puts it between, when you use the self guard, it puts it between there and there. The advantage this one has over that one is for the more finer work, where you're going to use your thumb and the blade to help pinch something from the inside, say for example if you're wanting to remove membrane from the inside of the fish, and also too to be able to reach up and grab the windpipe of a bird to help remove the inners. They are two different knives. I suppose no surprise in me saying that one. For freshwater fishing, small fish like trout, this one is still pretty hard to beat. It's a little laser, this thing. It's full convex ground, whereas this one's got a full flat ground and came with, from the factory, with a small primary secondary V bevel. Full flat grind V bevel, which I've converted to convex, full height convex down to a convex edge. Saltwater, this one. Freshwater, this one. To be honest, you can't go wrong with either of them, and both of them, as they've come, 3mm thick at the spine. Okay, I hope this has helped. Surprisingly enough, the actual index here is actually large enough to be useful. I don't necessarily know if I'd hold it like that for a skinning type position. I'd rather use the knife like that, so then I don't risk sliding my thumb up there. This one here, the little self guard, works well, but again, it's easy to choke up on. Okay, I hope that's helped. Any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.